Okay, I'm back at this because I realized something. I don't have that ice popping out above it, and so it looks kind of weird. Like this should look like there's something, maybe something should be coming out of here, and it looks like more like a rim of a soda can, maybe. So I thought it would be great to put a couple little ice cubes coming up. I'm not gonna do exactly what's going on here. I'm gonna probably just kind of make it up myself, just kind of looking at what's going on. So we always like to look at what is happening in this and how can I emulate it. Looks like there's some droplets of ice like bubbles and whatnot, or moisture that's sitting on top of the ice cube. And then the ice cube looks like it has some like a little bit of a crackly texture, and it's a little translucent, right? So some opacity, maybe something. All right, so that's what we're going to start with. Notice also I've put this stuff in groups. That way, so I see I can easily turn off the whole thing and get an idea of where things are. And then I can open up these groups, and this is the glass, and that way I have my background, right? So there's my glass, and I can open up the glass and go further. This is that layer here. So I want my ice, there's my rim. I'm going to put my ice under the rim but above the glass. So I'm going to put a layer here, right here above that glass, and I'm just going to kind of randomly make I'm kind of looking at my ice cube lines here, and I'm just going to say I'm going to make kind of a angled kind of ice cube here. Alright, and I'm going to fill it with just kind of a white. It was pretty white, and I think maybe it was a little bit more in the blue zone actually. So something like that. All right. Maybe I want it below. That went inside. I don't want it inside. All right. Is that where it is? All right. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, behind there. There. It's behind my. Behind my soda. What's kind of nice is my rim has a little transparency, and so it's showing. If you see, you can see the ice cube through it a little bit, and that's kind of nice. Kind of makes this rim more convincing of glass. So here's my ice cube layer. I'm gonna. Here's this like crackle kind of thing, and the crack spacing. I don't know, something. I'm just trying to get some texture on there. That's too much. Some nice and bright. I'm just playing with this till I get something that I think is trying to. Yeah, there. So see, it has. I just gave that a little bit of texture, and then it definitely needs one. It's a little bit hard edged, so I'll probably take my eraser and turn the size down. Just kind of take the edge down a little bit. Just soften the edges up a little. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to lock the transparency because I want to take a soft paintbrush and something like that, you know, looking at the size, and I want the flow turned way down, and I want the color to be, you know, something like this maybe. So the nice thing about having things in groups is I can quickly turn this off and I can look at what's happening here. I'm like, I got angles and shapes, so I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm just going to kind of hit something like that. I'm just breaking up the shape. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this color and make this a little bit smaller, a little bit less flow, and that's way too much. Let's lighten it up. Okay, and turn the flow even farther down. I just want a hint I want a hint of this, like, of some of this Coke color coming in there. So see how little of the flow I have? Is it just so I get just a hint of color on there? Okay, just something like that. All right. Notice the transparency is locked so that I don't paint anywhere except on that ice cube. Okay, so that's a start. I can then make this a little bit tighter and kind of come at an angle. See that? See what's happening there? And then maybe a little bit of gray. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's starting to look okay. So what it doesn't have those droplets and stuff on there. It doesn't have, you know, a little bit of that translucency is hard to come by. One thing we can do is turn the opacity down a little bit. That allows some of the fill out of it a little bit, right? And also let's put a bevel and emboss on it and see what happens. I know, right? You're like, Mr. 80, that's like what you do all the time, but it gives me light and shadow and highlight, and it's just a good place to start. So there's a bevel and emboss. This is using leftover colors from something else I did. I don't really want that. I really would like more like I think I'd really want more of like a blue-gray. And let's just reset the default, and then size down, and then I don't know. Let's look at some of the defaults and just play with them a little bit and see what they give me. It's kind of interesting. That's kind of like what's happening here. Size. Soften it up. It just gives it a little bit of like some kind of weird three-dimensional quality that we're not going to get any other way, really. I think I'm going to live with that. All right. All right, let's just put some droplets on it. That's a whole nother layer, right? So that's a layer above this, and I'm gonna make, if you remember, I should have saved that brush, but I didn't. A hard round. This isn't a, oh, I do kind of have a brush. All right, that's not bad. So I did make that brush. I forgot. I made a brush. Alright, so something like that. Okay, and then obviously, so if I command click on this layer, but command shift I for inverse, hit delete, now I just have those little dots there, and we need a bevel and emboss on those. Actually, I would like to keep some of the way the droplets come off the alright, there. I like the way they're coming off. know, being picky here, but you should. All right, there. So those are going to be those. These are going to be these little drops on the ice. Okay, so bevel and emboss. And I'm going to reset the default, and I am going to the size is way too big for these little dots, and depth is too, I think. Let's go to blending options. Let's take the fill almost out completely. And we could look at some of the gloss contours. That's build your own gloss contour. Yeah, see, something like that. Already looking a little bit more glossy. I kind of like that. And okay, let's zoom out. Yeah, something like that. Sure. Let's just crank the fill all the way up, lock the layer, and just, if this were not black, but we're actually more of like a blue, more like a blue-gray. Alright, more of a blue-gray, and now take my fill down and just keep a little bit of color in there. There. That's pretty, I can live with that. Not bad. I could maybe give it a little bit of a blur. Okay, I need more than one piece of ice cube. Listen, I'm not going to go through all those steps again. Not when I've got Photoshop, and not when I can go edit, transform, flip horizontal. So now I have a whole nother ice cube here. See that? And I'm going to drag those layers behind my other layers. So this ice cube is in front of the other one. And then the only thing I have to do now is maybe go, can I transform it? Could I give it a warp? Can't warp it. Command T just for transform. Let's just kind of, yeah, abbreviate this. So I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of a shift. Maybe I'll just yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe I'll take this guy and just kind of drag this one out a little bit. I like how this cube is looking like it's part of that cube there. I like what's happening right here. Yeah, that's not too bad. I can actually go to this layer and take a brush, take a paintbrush, hard edge brush, and I can, oops, unlock. Let's just pick a color here that's similar. And just kind of change the shape a little bit. Yeah, see, just now it looks like a different ice cube, and it has all those same steps attached, and not bad. Of course, we can keep tweaking. I could give myself a little more hard edge. It's picking up a lot of color from the Coke. So if I want to, you know, lock that layer, take a soft brush, turn the flow way, way down, and then kind of just hit a little bit of color on that. It looks pretty good. There. Okay, now there's some ice cubes. The end.